Hey guys, welcome back to the 1,000 Card Project and our weekly report. We're going over the week of October 19th through October 25th. This is actually my fourth time trying to record this video, and it's just been a series of different things that have prevented me from getting through it. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as we can. For those that are new, started with a $500 investment, and that bought us about 350 cards. We scaled that up to 1,000 cards, which is the limit that were worth $1, and now we're in the process of flipping those up from 1,000 $1 cards to hopefully 1,000 $100 cards. So it's all based off the 1,000 True Fans article. I've got some videos about that, so just go back and watch some of those if you haven't seen that before. This week we sold 28 total cards. My understanding is October is a down month. That's holding true. And so hopefully there starts to be a ramp up here, but not too far off our norm, but 28 total cards sold. We sold 7% on ComC, 60% on eBay, 4% on Facebook Marketplace, and about 29% on CollX. If you haven't joined CollX, I'm an ambassador on there. Make sure you join, reach out to me. I'd love to be your first purchase and help get you going there on that platform as well. Bulk card sales, we had 0. This is our second week in a row, and I think our 5th week overall out of the last 7. And so we might be approaching that end point of being able to sell off those bulk cards. I'm sure they'll sell off. But bulk, for those that are new, is my existing collection that I had when I started this hobby business. And I spent about 3 months kind of trying a bunch of different things. And I've been trying to recoup that money that I spent during that time, which was about $1,400. We've gotten about 1,000 of that back, a little over that. And we're still about $378 away from recouping that amount of money. The goal here was just to show you that basically you can kind of sell off what you have and use that as capital, or don't be afraid to make some mistakes, and you could probably make that back up. But we're at the point now where I'm trying to think of some different strategies to try to get rid of those cards, because I just kind of want to get them out of my house, to be honest with you. And so, do I hold off and just try to sell it through the end of the year, or do I just lot it up, sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something like that? And still playing around with ideas there. Project card sales this week, we sold 28 for a project level of 172. Each card gets a level. So if it's a $5 card, it's a level 6, meaning that after we sell it, all of our fees, everything, we should walk away with $6 and profited at least $1 per card. So in this situation, we should have made at least 172, and we killed that with about 243. So we are working above our level, which allows us to spend more money. Nothing really that stands out just in terms of what's selling. Obviously a lot of the big names, Shohei, Roki, Jordan, Paul Skeens, some of those key guys in there, Aaron Judge. But one thing to notice here is you can see in that far right column is my profit per card. Now, not every card do I profit a lot. Like those Judges, I only profited a penny. And, again, that's, that's not ideal, but very rarely do I take a loss. I only had one card in there that I took a loss on in this time. So you can't go broke making a profit. Obviously questioning how much work and how much time goes into some of this. 3 cents on a card isn't ideal, but then you're making $18 and $12 and $11 on cards. Again, once you dial it in, what works. It's all about just pouring gasoline on the fire. Purchases this week, we purchased 4 cards for a project level of 22.75, and I think that cost about $86. So not a lot of purchases this week, but again, we're making higher level purchases and feeling good about where we're at. Bought a Bo Jackson rookie, a Kirby Puckett rookie. As you guys have been following for the last couple of weeks, I'm really making a conscious effort to go back and get some of the greats, some of these Hall of Famers. I did pick up a Nate George Bowman Chrome. That's one of the hot prospects out of this latest release. And then I picked up a Bo Nix NFT. If you haven't watched that episode that I did with Jason Heil, card block NFT, go back, watch that episode on the 1,000 Card Project podcast. And I really think that the digital space is something that everybody should be looking at. and I'm only putting about 10%. So out of that 1,000 cards, I only want about 100 cards to go there, but I'm kind of taking a little bit of a Noah's Ark approach. And so for every person that I identify, like Bo Nix, I'm picking up two of their cards or two of their NFTs. And the plan there is to let them do what they're going to do, sell off one, basically cover the cost of the first one, and then just let it sit and see what happens with it. So this is not something that I'm looking to get rich off of, nor do I think the market is quite there yet. Um, but I do think that digital is the future. And for every person that thinks that, oh, it's just a picture on a phone and things like that, like it is definitely worth exploring and just understanding the psychology of it. I think it's very interesting when you get into it. Current budget, we are sitting very, very well there. We're sitting at $1,500 in our budget. And, again, we've been doing this for 40 something weeks. Only one, two, three, four, 5 times have we dipped below zero and had to cover that. So budget is really healthy, allows us to pick up cards when we see them and not have to think about that. So feel pretty good there. Overall project level, we're sitting at 7,378. So we went up just a little bit this week. But again, if you look at this overall, we started with $500 and 351 cards. And in about 40 something weeks, we are now sitting at 1,000 cards that are worth pretty conservatively $7,300, $7,400 or so. So not bad for a kind of alternative asset and a fun hobby, and the hobbies, the card hobby is fun, and the business of selling cards is fun as a hobby. So questions I have going on this week, liquidating those cards. That's kind of the big thing. As we approach the end of the year, I do want to consolidate and kind of regroup and not start fresh. That's not the right thing, but I do think that maybe paring down the inventory, selling off some things, maybe just trying to get back what I put into them and being able to take that money and put it in other things. I think that's what's great about this is as you learn, um, then, the more capital you have, the more you can just pour gasoline on the strategies that work and do better. And so, again, I collected cards my whole life, collected, players that I've coached. But the hobby business side of it, I started a year ago, and this time last year, I was buying base Bowman first for $4 or $5 of no name players. And so obviously we all know probably that that's not the best strategy, or maybe you don't at this point, but I've come a long way in this year, and the project's come a long way. So I can only imagine what this is going to look like even a year from now. So as always, recommendations on podcast guest is another thing. So if you ever checked out the 1,000 Card Project podcast, check that out. Follow us on TikTok at 1K Card Project. We have a lot of cool things going on and some really cool guests that have been on and are coming on. And so I'm excited for you to see those episodes. Comment, let us know strategies to try, cards to purchase, all those types of things. And then as always, you can either sell us cards or, buy cards from us. So appreciate you guys. Hope you had a great week. And I look forward to coming back next week and seeing you. Take care.